Today we are going to talk about the segment and addition postulates, and it only will last for two notebook pages, so go ahead and label it 14 and 15. And then we're going to label 14 and 15 segment and addition. I forget to change that every year. That's not the correct title. 14. It is 1.3, and it is segment. But it's segment and angle addition postulates. It's missing a word. So change that and get the right title there on page 14. That's also the title for 15, and I'm going to go ahead and write it on there. Because I am going to fill 14 and 15 today. Okay. The notes today, it's not actually a handout, and you're going to need your textbook as well. So if you're home, you're going to need to go grab the textbook. You put this to the side. You're going to need just a blank piece of paper to make this colorful. I've got a nice colorful one. If you're at school, you got a nice colorful one. So I'm holding this landscape, and I'm going to fold it in half, hamburger style. Okay, so I've got half a piece of paper here. And then I'm going to fold it into thirds. Those are not completely even thirds, but it'll be alright. I don't like it, but it'll be fine. Then I'm going to unfold. The only reason I need to fold it into thirds is because I'm going to make 3 flaps. And that means flaps, so I'm not going to cut all the way through. You want it to open. So if you're at home, you grab this paper, make a foldable that opens like this. See how it opens now? 3 little flaps, and you can see it better right there. 3 flaps like this. Okay. In the top flap, notice I'm holding it this way. I want you to write linear I'm going to fix this so you can actually see it. There we go. Zoom in. Linear pair theorem. Linear pair theorem. Underneath that, segment addition postulate. Segment addition postulate. And then underneath that, angle addition postulate. Okay. Go ahead and go back up to linear pair theorem. Open that one up. And we're going to draw a straight line. Since it is a linear pair, it means we need a line. So go ahead on this flap right here and draw a line. And I would like you to draw another ray coming out of that line. And I'm going to label this angle 1 and angle 2. Linear pair theorem says, because we got a straight line here, if 2 angles form a linear pair, and 1 and 2 right here are a linear pair, then they are supplementary. And the word supplementary means they add up to 180 degrees. So we're going to write that over here on this side here. If two angles form a linear pair, then they are supplementary. We're going to make a little note about what supplementary means. Add to 180 is what that means. In a formula, that means M stands for measure. The measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180. That's going to be important for us in solving problems later. Okay. Next, let's talk about the segment addition postulate. So close this one. Open up segment addition postulate. We're going to draw a picture. We're going to put some points A, B, and C. So draw a segment and put A, B, and C. Scoot your paper over. If point B lies on line segment AC, then AB plus BC equals AC. Here's all I like to think about. While it's this formula, whatever, I just like to think of it as the two small pieces added together are the whole thing. That's what the angle addition postulate is saying. So this plus this equals the whole thing. For instance, if I knew AB was 7 and I knew BC was 3, then AC is 10. That's what the segment addition postulate is saying. Okay, let's talk about angle addition postulate, and you're going to need to draw some angles. You're also going to want some highlighters out because we need to identify certain pieces that you may not know yet or that you have not had to worry about yet. So we're drawing an angle, draw an obtuse angle. I don't care what measure it is, just make it obtuse because it'll make your life easier. We're going to label this obtuse angle A, D, C. We labeled it that because we are then going to put in another ray. Remember when we were talking about naming stuff and I said whatever you do, be careful about naming things with just one letter? Because if I said angle D now, that can be any of the three that are sitting here. You're going to see what I mean in a minute. So let's highlight and talk about these. Got that drawn? If you don't, you're pausing it. Scoot on over. If B is in the interior, inside, I'm pretty sure you know what interior means, of angle ADC, then the measure of angle ADB plus the measure of angle BDC equals the measure of angle ADC. Okay, we need to talk about what all that means. And I'm going to have it so you see both at the same time, so make sure you can. Okay, I'm using a green highlighter. What this means is that here ADB is right here. A to D, D to B. This angle is ADB. That angle plus BDC, and I'm using orange here, B to D, D to C, that angle is equal to the whole angle. This is in pink. I hope you can tell the difference. It doesn't look like you can, but it's this angle here, the outside one, A to D, D to C. So Again, like the segment addition postulate, it means that these two small angles make the whole angle, okay? We're obviously not done with notes. We've got to do some example problems. But close this and glue it on 14. So glue it right here on 14. And then get your textbook out. I'm going to glue, get your textbook out. Okay, here's what I need you to do. You're going to pull your textbook out. I'm going to pull mine out. And we're going to tear certain pages out of your book. Now, you got to be careful because there's one piece that we need the other side of, and unless you want to have to write a lot, you're going to be careful. Take the book and turn to page 48. Turn to page 48. And 49. Okay, on page 48 of your textbook, page 48, there is this little example right here. I need you to be very careful. Do not tear it out. There's a reason you're not tearing it out. You'll find that out tomorrow. Very, very carefully cut out example A. I'm not doing a very good job of being carefully cutting it out because mine looks like a mess. But cut this out, okay? I'll put it over so you can see them from out. On page 48, cut that out. Then tear out 49. So you cut that out, you tore out 49. Then you can close your book. I'm going to make this a little prettier. Okay, this came from 48. Now, from 49, I need you to cut out, and we tore this out because when we're done, we're just going to throw it away. We do this a lot. This is the first time we've been cutting out of the book, so try to get it right, but if you mess up, you'll just have to write it by hand. This is from 48. This is from 49. You still need something else from 49. Don't rip anything up. Okay, you also need, this is the last thing, number 8. So you've got 3 things, right? You've got letter A, letter B, number 8. Those are the 3 things you need. Pause the video anywhere you need to make sure you've got the right 3 pieces cut out, but there are 3 pieces. All right, and now we're going to set them to the side and glue them in our notebook as we get to them. You can throw away page 49. Don't throw away page 48 unless you want to write a lot of stuff. Okay, page 15. You've got to write some stuff. We're going to do some examples of what we just learned. We are going to use a postulate or theorem to find the value of x in each figure. And we're also going to write down which postulate or theorem we used. So glue in letter A right underneath that. Be careful, don't use too much glue. Don't get it all over your notebook like I just did. Okay. So use a postulate or theorem. Well, this is a segment, so this is probably going to be the segment addition postulate. I'm just guessing. Just kidding, I know. It's segment addition postulate. And the segment addition postulate says if I add these two small pieces, they are equal to the whole thing. So RS, this piece here, plus ST is equal to the whole thing, which is RT. Okay. Now I'm going to replace RS is x plus 5, x plus 2 it says. ST is 3x minus 8. And RT is 5x minus 12. Now I'm going to combine like terms. X and 3x is 4x. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Okay. Now let's move everything over. I'm going to subtract 4x. Doesn't matter which one you move. Negative 6 equals x minus 12. So I'm going to add 12. So 6 equals x, or x equals 6. By the way, I don't care if you leave it like this. That doesn't matter to me anymore. I don't care. The other teachers might have, but that's fine. It does not matter to me. It says, yep, find the value of x. So we're finished. Now, if it said find RT, we would have had to go on and plug x back in, but we don't have to. So once you got that one, we're going to do another one. Glue in B over here to the side. Anytime throughout this, while these are problems you're working, it's a good idea to pause it and try to work these problems on your own. There are not a lot of examples for this, and I can't help that. So pause it when you need to, okay? Here's example B. Use the what postulate? Well, we don't have a line, so it's not a linear pair. We don't have a segment, so it's not segment addition postulate. So it's probably angle addition postulate. All right. RST equals the small pieces. RSP, which is right here, and PST, which is right here. By the way, I put 2 marks here because if you put the same mark, it means they're congruent, and we don't know that. Congruent meaning the same. We don't know. RSP is x plus 25. PST is 5x plus 10. All right, you're supposed to simplify and solve for x. So pause the video if you haven't yet and solve it before I go on. All right, x plus 5x is 6x. 25 plus 10 is 35. If I make a math error in one of these videos, somebody please tell me. Okay, I'm going to move over the 6x. That's 9x. And it wants me to move over the 10 at the same time, so add 10. So in case you're wondering, I did minus 6x. I'm doing plus 10. That's 45. So x equals 5. Okay. Last one, glue in number 8. Again, try that one on your own. I'm going to glue it in right down here. Yes, that's blank. I know. I got to glue it in. Here's number 8. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. I've used segment addition. I've used angle addition. The only one I haven't used is linear pair. We're going to see if that's what's really going on. Two angles, LMN and NMP, form a linear pair. Yep, that's the one I'm going to use. I'm not even going to write it. I'm just going to circle it. Linear pair. That means I'm going to need a line. The measure of angle LMN is twice the measure of angle NMP. Find the measure of angle LMN. It is so hard to speak geometry because of all those letters. One of the major things in geometry is being able to draw your own picture, because you're going to have to draw your own picture a lot. So try to, like I said, pause this, draw your own picture, then press play after I've drawn the picture, then pause it again and try to work it out, okay? Alright, so first of all, we have a linear pair, which means I'm going to draw a line down here at the bottom of my paper. And a pair means I also need to draw a ray coming out. So I got my linear pair. Now I need to label it. Two angles LMN, one of these is LMN, and NMP, one is NMP. And I normally am just going to start at the left and work my way up. And I'm going to have to make sure that works. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So LMN. Can I make NMP? Yes, so I've done it correctly. See, if I had done LMN, I wouldn't have had an N or a M over here. So be careful and go in the order they speak about it up here. Okay, it says this angle is twice this angle. Well, okay, we could set up an equation, or we could think about what number it would have to be. Because remember, a linear pair, these two angles are going to add up to 180 degrees. So if they're going to have to add to 180 degrees, I could think about what would be twice here, that would be this, what would be twice of this that would add to 180. I'm going to send them an equation because that's how I like to do stuff like this, but you get to choose. If you decide to do something else, that's fine. I almost never care about which way you solve it, as long as you get that right answer. Okay, I'm going to just say NMP is got a measure of x. And since LMN has twice that, it has 2x. And I know that since this is a linear pair, that the sum of these is equal to 180. And then I'm going to solve for x. 3x equals 180. Divide by 3, x equals 60. Now, I have to read the problem because it doesn't say solve for x. It says find the measure of LMN. Here's LMN. So I got to double this. So my answer is that the measure of angle, just scoot it over so it's not on the bottom number. The measure of angle LMN equals 60 times 2 is 120 degrees. Okay. All right, you are doing homework in the book. It's written down on that outline. I think it's page 54. I think it's 17 through 25, but I don't have it in front of me to tell you. Which means you're going to go and you're going to look. I will tell you probably in the actual posting of this video what it is. You're not submitting it yet. You're doing it all on paper. You will submit it on, I think, Thursday is when I'm going to have you submit that. Don't get behind and wait to do it till Thursday, because I'm going to add a lot to it tomorrow and Thursday, okay? I will see you guys on Wednesday.